This is Talk Business and Politics with Roby Brock.
Joining me now is John Brummett. He's a columnist with the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette. Always good to be with you, my friend, and hope that you are doing well with all of the political activity that there is.
I'm trying to keep up, and I hope you're doing well also. I am. Glad to be back talking with you about what's going on.
Let's begin with the January 6th hearings in Congress. They have had a couple of events during the daytime, during the nighttime, trying to keep up with what's going on. We're seeing the arguments being laid out. How compelling has the testimony been? How the hearings been? And what do you think at this juncture is the net result in terms of political advantage or disadvantage?
I think they've been quite compelling. I think they've been well done. I initially thought they would be dismissed as overly choreographed and just a partisan assault, abusing their privileges. But I said it depends on what they say and how credible and compelling it is. And the first one, to be honest with you, I didn't watch yesterday's. I've since watched parts of it and read about it. But the first one, the prime time one, I thought was bravo. I mean, it was just very well done. Liz Cheney, not Lynn, as I called her in the column this morning, Liz Cheney, was compelling, credible, and the use of persons normally aligned with Trump or with Republicanism, the use of Barr and the use yesterday of some of the White House counselors who are telling the truth about the fraud that Trump and his mad staff of outside lawyers, Giuliani and Powell, what they did. And I think it's good viewing and it's important viewing. What it will do, I think you cannot move the political needle much in dysfunctional, polarized, alienated America. People are cemented, and they won't deal. The Trump supporters won't deal with the facts. They probably don't doubt the facts or care, but what they care about is that Trump is the disruptor they want because they have so many resentments. So I don't think it moves it a great deal, but to move it at all, and I'd like to see some surveys on this, but I think the number of people blaming Trump for January 6th, the number of people finding these hearings persuasive, will show up in surveys, and to show up at all with some modest political effect is a major accomplishment. This all rests with the Justice Department. As it's the Justice Department's call on whether to file charges. We'll see about that. This is an education and political exercise, and as such, it's I gave it a good grade.
There will also be a strong historical record here with all of the evidence that's being placed
Right
on a file here, and for at least for generations beyond us to come look at some of this and understand what happened and where things could go in terms of democracy coming off its rails here.
By the way, go ahead. I'm sorry. I was going to say one more thing.
No, go ahead.
As we speak, tomorrow's hearing has been abruptly postponed. They plan to have Thursdays as scheduled, which will probably set off some rumors. Oh, their witnesses are bailing on them. They say it's just because their video staff is overworked trying to produce these things, and they are rather seriously produced. So it'll be interesting to see as the day unfolds what that's all about. Probably nothing, but we'll see.
On the surface, there has been a gun deal struck in Congress, 10 Republicans aligning with some Democrats in the U.S. Senate to advance some changes to the gun laws in the wake of the Uvalde shooting, the Buffalo shooting, of course, many others that preceded that. How big of a deal is this gun deal in Congress? Is it wallpaper or is it substantive?
It's substantive to the extent that some crazy youngster, 18 to 21, may get his juvenile record checked or may get checked somewhere and not get a gun with which he could kill children. That could happen. some state could could enact a red flag law based on the federal government giving it some financial incentives to do so, and that might make someone dangerous to himself and others have to give up his gun. Anything that saves lives or provides tools for saving lives is important. Increased funding for mental health, making schools more secure, whatever that entails. There's nothing wrong with it. It's good. It's not a solution. It is a small sliver of the loaf Democrats want, but it's a sliver the right wing and the NRA probably don't want to give up. That's what compromise is. Everybody goes away dissatisfied, grumbling about the stridence of the other side, but in the main, you look at it, and 10 Republicans, including Cornyn representing McConnell, got together and agreed on a few things that have the potential to save lives, to limit rampant gun galore distribution to people who don't need them. And that's good. It ain't great. It's kind of momentous that this would be a big deal. But this is, I've said it many times, the only thing we could possibly do right now is small item, incremental advancement. And that's what this qualifies for. And the 10 Republicans sat down with Democrats and apparently are planning to vote with them on these measures when they come up, depending on how they're read. That's a big deal. Even John Bozeman today says he'll study this because his leader, McConnell, is McConnell's guy. Cornyn is for it. So Bozeman may get confused if Trump's against it, but at the present time, it's telling that even John Bozeman is inclined to give it a fair reading and is praising the effort. So disappointing in a way, but substantial in a way. That's how I see it.
All right. Lastly, in Arkansas, Governor Asa Hutchinson says he is going to call a special session. We've got this $1.5 billion tax surplus. He wants to spend it on some more tax cuts. School safety as part of this gun debate is, I think, also going to be a part of the agenda right here. What do you view as chances for that? And do you see other things potentially creeping into this special session, a la Roe v. Wade, if we get some sort of decision before that special session is called?
Well, yes, that would be fortuitous for the legislators if, well, it might not be because it might be contentious. But if we should get a Roe v. Wade ruling between now and the time the session occurs, then we have a trigger law, but we're going to have a debate about exceptions for rape and incest. Get the governor involved in that, and the right wing of the Republican legislature on the other side. That could come up. We'll just have to wait and see. But I think we're going to have this session. We got, as of June 30, we're going to have $1.5 billion extra dollars, and we want to give people some relief. In this particular, these Republicans want to give people some relief from Joe Biden's inflation and Joe Biden's gasoline prices, using their thinking and their terminology. And I don't think the legislature can resist that. The idea to give direct payments or to suspend gasoline taxes off the board, legislators object because, hey, let's just go ahead and accelerate the schedule of these new tax cuts we've already approved, which is sort of like using the surplus to build in ongoing costs, which is not good. But I don't think they can resist that. Some money to make schools more safe, some grant money. I don't think they can resist that. Some of them want to adopt federal depreciation schedules for some farmers and small business. I'm afraid they may not be able to reduce that. All of this is coming out of one-time money built into ongoing budgets, which is problematic. Asa Hutchinson's idea to also significantly upgrade the teaching position in this state by raising the minimum pay to $46 and giving $4,000 raises. I think that's where the legislature will, doggone it, they'll just have to draw the line at this one-time money for ongoing needs. They'll do it for tax cuts. I don't think they'll do it for that. Or at least that seems to be the current temperament. And at the very least, they can't do all three: the depreciation, the income tax, permanent income tax reductions, and teacher salaries, and then turn the state over to Sarah Sanders in January when she's promising to take down to phase out, not just down, our income taxes. You get yourself in a world of mathematical hurt that way. So some session, tax relief, school safety, no teacher salaries. It's the way it's looking right now.
All right. What if Chris Jones is governor?
I'm glad you mentioned that. Sometimes I fail to mention that we have an election, and he's an excellent candidate. Thank you, Roby, for mentioning that. The favorite would remain based on all indications. But listen, Trump's problems, if the needle moves on Trump, that might have some effect on Sarah Sanders. Maybe, but this is Arkansas, and I don't think so at the present time.
All right. He's
Right.
Brummett. He's columnist with the Arkansas Democrat Gazette. You can catch him 4 times a week online. Check him out at arkansasonline.com. Thank you so much, John.
Thank you, man. Bye.